proceedings this afternoon of 4th of December, the year 2024. This is a broadcast that is streaming from the Parliament buildings, that is the Senate chambers in Nairobi. A broadcast that is brought to you by the Parliamentary Broadcasting Unit in partnership with the Kenya Broadcasting Corporation. Pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 53.1, there are members of the Senate who will be seeking statement from various standing committees. The Senator for Nandi County, Senator Samson Cherarkei, will seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Labor and Social Welfare regarding the dismissal of staff of Kenya Medical Research Institute, that is commonly referred to as KEMRI. The Senator for Trans Nzoia County, Senator Alan Chesang, will also seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Information, Communication and Technology regarding the need for automation and digitization of services in the Office of the Controller of Budget. The Senator for Bungoma County, Senator David Wakoli, will also seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Labor and Social Welfare. This is with regards to the status of the Equity Bank Kenya Limited Employee Share Ownership Plan scheme. The Senator for Isiolo County, Honorable Fatuma Dulo, also will be seeking a statement from the Standing Committee on Land, Environment and Natural Resources regarding alleged grabbing of community land in Isiolo County. Also, the Deputy Speaker of the Senate, who's also the Senator for Meru County, Honorable Katuri Murungi, will this afternoon seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Education, and this is with regards to the alleged mismanagement of the University of Nairobi. Senator for Kisii County, Senator Richard Onyonka, will seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Roads, Transportation and Housing concerning the financial performance of the Nairobi Expressway. Honorable Richard Onyonka will also seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Trade, Industrialization and Tourism regarding the state of measurement systems in the country. Another statement which the Honorable Senator for Kisii County, Honorable Richard Onyonka, will seek is from a Standing Committee on Education regarding the termination of service of Professor Stephen Kiama Gitahi from the position of Vice Chancellor of the University of Nairobi, and the Senator for Kisii County will also seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Health, and this is with regards to the State of Nairobi Funeral Home, formerly referred to as City Mortuary. Yet another statement that the Senator for Kisii will seek is from the Standing Committee on Agriculture, Livestock and Fisheries. This is with regards to the status of implementation of the Edible Oil Crops Promotion Project by the Agriculture and Food Authority, commonly referred to as AFA. That is the Speaker of the Senate, Honorable Amason Jeffa Kingi. He will be presiding over this afternoon sitting. Allow me to hand you over to this live broadcast brought to you by PBU in partnership with KBC. Good afternoon.
Na tuombe. Ewe Mwenyezi Mungu, twakusihi tutazame kwa neema nyingi na baraka sisi watumishi wako ambao umeridhika kutuita kwa nyadhifa za uongozi katika jamhuri hii yetu. Tukuomba tuwajalie tuyatende na kufikiria mambo yote yatakayofikishwa mbele yetu kwa njia ya haki na uaminifu, ili kustawisha amani, ufanisi na heri ya nchi yetu na wale ambao haja zao umezikabidhi mikononi mwetu. Amen. Clerk to have quorum. Sergeant at Arms, kindly ring the quorum bell for 10 minutes.
The House has not quorated for it to be able to commence its business. Members who are currently inside the chambers have not reached 15 members, are not yet 15 members. And that is why the quorum bell is currently on. That is that the minority or the leader of the minority party at the Senate, Honorable Stewart Madzayo. We have also seen members, as you can see at the entrance, the honorable nominated senators, Tabitha Mutinda, Catherine Muma, also the chief whip, the senator for Kakamega County, Honorable Bonnie Halwale, who have just made their way into the chambers. Remember, the House is looking for at least 15 members to be able to commence its business for this afternoon sitting. The House is expected to, among other businesses, also conclude on the consideration of His Excellency the President's recommendations. This is with regards to the county allocation of revenue bill. There is a vote that is to be taken on this particular bill, and whether they will be agreeing to the report of the committee or the recommendations or not. This morning, the House began those considerations on those recommendations with regards to the reduction in monies that was allocated to go to counties. And this afternoon, they will be picking up. It will be a resumption of a debate that was interrupted on the Wednesday, 4th of December, 2024, during the morning sitting. The county allocation revenue bill is a bill that seeks to make provision for the allocation of revenue raised nationally among the county governments for the financial year 2024-2025. And you will recall that at the beginning of the process to establish the division of revenue bill, the members of the Senate had requested for 400 billion shillings to go to the counties, with the National Assembly setting the amount at 391. But due to lack of that particular agreement, that forced for the establishment of a mediation team, which formed senators, which formed members from the Senate as well as members from the National Assembly. And the consensus that was reached is that the counties should be given a total of 387 billion to share amongst themselves for the development expenditures with regards to the functions that have been moved to the devolved units. The county allocation of revenue bill also seeks to provide for the allocation of the revenue raised nationally, as well as the transfer of the county allocations from the consolidated fund to the respective county revenue fund. The bill also provides for budget.
Senators, I'm informed you do have quorum now. Senator Bonnie and company, kindly take your seats. Clerk, you may proceed to call the first order.
Order number 1, administration of oath. Order number 2, communication from the chair.
Next order.
Order number 3, messages. Order number 4, petitions. Order number 5, papers.
Majority Leader may proceed to lay the papers on behalf of the Chair, Park. Order, may the Vice Chairman proceed.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to lay the following papers on the table of the Senate today, 4th December 2024. One, report of the Senate County Public Accounts Committee on the reports of the Auditor General on the financial statement of the following counties: Siaya, Nandi, Baringo, Bomet, Bungoma, Elgeyo Marakwet, Embu, Homa Bay, Kajiado, Kakamega, Kericho, Laikipia, Meru, Nakuru, Tana River, and Nyeri for the financial year 2019-2020, Tharaka Nithi for the financial years 2019-2020, and 2020-2021, and Kericho for the financial years 2020-2021 and 2021-2024. Mr. Speaker, sir, and the report of the Senate County Public Accounts Committee on the reports of the Auditor General or the financial statements of the following county executives. One, Tana River and Migori County executives for the financial years 2018-2019 and 2019-2020. Second, Mr. Speaker, sir, Elgeyo Marakwet, Mandera, Lamu, Taita Taveta County executives for the financial years 2019 and 2020. And finally, Mr. Speaker, sir, was Ngishu County executive for the financial years 2019-2020 and 2020-2021 on behalf of the Chairperson Standing Committee on County Public Accounts Committee. Chair, Mr. Speaker, I beg to lay.
Next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion. Order number 7, questions and statements.
Statement pursuant to Standing Order 52-1. The Honorable Senator Hamida Kibwana. Senator Fernandi, I'll indulge you before you proceed with the statements. You may have to give notice on the reports that you've just laid on the table.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to give notice on the following motion that the Senate adopts the report of the Senate County Public Accounts Committee on the reports of the Auditor General on the financial statements of the following county assemblies: Siaya, Nandi, Baringo, Bomet, Bungoma, Elgeyo Marakwet, Embu, Homa Bay, Kajiado, Kakamega, Kericho, Laikipia, Meru, Nakuru, Tana River, and Nyeri for the financial year 2019-2020, Tharaka Nithi for the financial years 2019-2020 and 2020-2021, and Kericho for the financial years 2020-2021 and 2021-2022, laid on the table of the Senate today, Wednesday, 4th December 2024. Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to give notice of the following motion that the Senate adopts the report of the Senate County Public Accounts Committee on the reports of the Auditor General on the financial statements of the following county executive. One, Mr. Speaker, sir, Tana River and Migori County executives for the financial year 2018-2019 and 2019-2020. Number 2, Mr. Speaker, sir, Elgeyo Marakwet, Mandera, Lamu, Taita Taveta County Executives for the financial years 2019-2020. And finally, Mr. Speaker, sir, was Ngishu County Executive for the financial years 2019-2020 and 2020-2021, laid on the table of the Senate today, Wednesday, 4th December 2024, on behalf of the chairperson. I thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Now, honorable senators, before I proceed to the statement pursuant to Standing Order 53-1, allow me to make the following communication. I would like to acknowledge the presence in the Speaker's Gallery this afternoon a visiting delegation from the Center for Parliamentary Studies and Training. The Center for Parliamentary Studies and Training is conducting a training program on delegated legislation for clerk assistants and legal counsel serving in the Parliamentary Service Commission and various counties. Honorable senators, I request each member of the delegation to stand when called out so that they may be acknowledged in the Senate tradition. Mr. Hassan Wandere, Samburu County. Ms. Fatuma King, Kwale. M. Hassan Abdullahi, Mandera. Ms. Pauline Rebo, Nyeri. Ms. Priska Jamatia, Nyeri. Mr. Mahat Hassan, Garissa. Mr. James Muni Ireri, Embu. And Mr. Boniface Mudhoni Ireri, Embu. On behalf of the Senate, on my own behalf, I extend a warm welcome and wish you a fruitful visit. I'll ask Senator for Kakamega to extend a word of welcome to the delegation. Under 1 minute.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, it's an honor because even the very communication, your tone and your words are more than congratulations. So let me ride on what you've just said and tell the young Kenyans they are most welcome to this Senate, and I wish them well. One of these days, one of them will run to be senator. I advise you not to run in Nairobi because my brother's son is the senator of Nairobi. I don't want him to face unnecessary challenges, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, ladies and gentlemen, you're most welcome.
Senator Hamida Kibwana. Those two statements. Yes, Senator Mutinda, what say you?
I'm saying Senator Amida had requested that I take care of her statements. She might be running late.
You may proceed, please.
On behalf of Senator Hamida Kibwana, one of the statements is on the global observation of the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence. Mr. Speaker, she rises on pursuant to Order 52.1 to make a statement on a matter of general topical concern, namely the global observations of the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence, which commenced on the 25th of November 2024, the International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women, and will culminate on 10th December 2024, Human Rights Day. Mr. Speaker, this global campaign calls for urgent action to end all forms of gender-based violence, GBV, as a persistent issue that continues to affect millions worldwide, including here in Kenya. GBV is not only a gross violation of human rights, but also a significant barrier to achieving gender equality, sustainable development, and the protection of vulnerable populations. In Kenya, the prevalence of gender-based violence remains alarmingly high. According to the Kenya Demographic and Health Surveys 2022, over 38% of women—
Honorable senators, may Senator Mutinda be heard in silence, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Over 38% of women aged between 15 years to 49 years reported experiencing physical and sexual violence in their lifetime. Alarmingly, we have witnessed an upsurge in femicide cases, with the National Crime Research Center reporting a 35% increase in femicide cases in 2023 alone. Mr. Speaker, Additionally, technology-facilitated gender-based violence is emerging as a significant threat, with a 2023 policy study revealing that 1 in every 3 women in Kenya has experienced online harassment or abuse. This includes cyber stalking, non-consequential sharing of intimate images, and online threats disappropriately targeting young women. The socio-economic and emotional toll of GBV, including TFGB-BV, cannot be overstated. Survivors do face profound physical and psychological trauma, and the violence exacerbates gender inequalities in education, employment, public participation. GBV also affects Kenya's economic growth, and the National Gender and Equality Commission estimating that GBV costs the economy billions annually in lost productivity and healthcare cost. Mr. Speaker, we do observe that the 16 days of activism as a country, we need to work on the following measures to address gender-based violence in all forms. Mr. Speaker, one of it is strengthening legislative frameworks, enact comprehensive laws to address TFGBV, ensuring clear definitions and penalties to perpetrators, amend the Computer Misuse of Cybercrimes Act to include specific protections for women against online abuse and harassment. 2, promote prevention and education, integrate digital literacy programs into the education system to equip young people, especially women and girls, with the skills to be able to navigate the digital space safely. Launch nationwide public awareness campaigns to highlight the dangers of GBV and TFGV with a focus of empowering communities to act against these injustices. Invest in survivor support systems, establish and fund more safe houses, counseling centers, and legal aid services for survivors. Senator Cherargei, order. Partner with technology companies to enhance online reporting mechanisms and ensure swift removal of harmful content. Improve law enforcement and accountability. Train police officers and prosecutors to handle GBV and TFGBV cases sensitively and effectively. Ensure timely investigations and prosecution of femicide and TFGBV cases to deter potential offenders. Enhance data collection and research. Establish a nationwide database to track GBV and TFGBV cases, and labeling a data-driven policy making and resource allocation. Lastly, Mr. Speaker, the 16 days of activism remind us that the fight against gender-based violence is a collective responsibility. It is therefore imperative for this House to take the lead in addressing GBV and TFGBV by enacting robust policies, allocating sufficient resources, and championing the rights of women and girls. In conclusion, Mr. Speaker, I urge my colleagues and stakeholders across the country to renew their commitment in ending all forms of violence against women and girls, ensuring that Kenya becomes safer and more equitable society for all. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. On behalf of Senator Hamida Kibwana, the Chair Lady of Kenya Women Senators. Second, Mr. Speaker, if I might proceed, it's on the visit to the Kenya by Unite and UNITAD. Mr. Speaker, she rises pursuant to Standing Order 52.1 to make a statement on a matter of general topical concern. And since, Mr. Speaker, I've seen...
Just proceed, Senator Mutinda. Proceed and conclude our statement.
All right. She rises on a matter of general topical concern, namely the recent visit to the Kenya by members of Unite, the Global Parliamentarians Network for Global Health, in partnership with United. This visit, held from 25th to 27, 2024, aimed to showcase United-funded projects and explore how parliamentarians can use their voices to champion better health outcomes, advocate for more resource allocation to the health sector, and build meaningful partnerships. The delegation, Mr. Speaker, engaged in impactful discussions and visits, including a courtesy meeting with the Ministry of Health, where they highlighted Kenya's health priorities and the role of United in accelerating responses to HIV, TB, malaria, cervical cancer, and global health security. The delegation also visited health facilities in Makueni County and also Nairobi County, observing projects addressing cervical cancer, postmortem hemorrhage, and medical oxygen access. These sites underscored the transformative impact of innovative health solutions in saving lives and improving the well-being of women and children. Key meetings that were held between the delegation and the members of parliament, that is the National Assembly Departmental Committee on Health and the Senate Deputy Speaker, alongside members of the Senate Health Committee, they engaged the delegation on the need for greater political commitment to health, especially in promoting equitable access to innovative health tools. Unite and United have registered a number of achievements in Kenya, notably the following. Cervical cancer, United has supported innovative screen and treat solutions that have empowered women in rural areas to access life-saving care, significantly reducing mortality rates. 2, postmortem hemorrhage. Through partnerships with CHAI, health providers have received training to manage PPH effectively, saving the lives of mothers in rural areas. Medical oxygen access. The Vayu bubble cap and the oxygen blender systems showcased at Kenyatta National Hospital have revolutionized neonatal care by providing affordable, electricity-free oxygen solutions for remote areas. United has supported systems that improve oxygen delivery, critical for maternal health and pediatric emergencies. Health unity. United has consistently prioritized equitable access to health tools benefiting millions of Kenyans, particularly women and children. The visit reinforced the importance of health partnerships and the role of parliamentarians in driving change. It is imperative that we advocate for increased budgetary allocations to the health sector to support innovative solutions and meet the growth health demands for our population. Strengthen legislative frameworks to promote equitable access to healthcare. Encourage more members of this House to join the Unite Network to amplify Kenya's voice in global health advocacy and learn from international best practices. And lastly, enhance collaboration with partners like United to scale up successful health interventions and ensure sustainability. I take this opportunity to commend the members of Unite and United for their dedication and for taking time to visit Kenya. Their presence and insights have reignited our collective responsibility to champion health issues, not only for Kenyans, but also as part of the global community. In conclusion, Mr. Speaker, I urge this House to prioritize health as a pillar for sustainable development. By championing better health systems, allocating adequate resources, and fostering strategic partnerships, we can ensure that all Kenyans have access to quality healthcare they deserve. On behalf of Senator Hamida Kibwana, the chair of Kenya Women Senators, thank you.
Senator Alan Chesang. Senator Alan Chesang had 2 statements. Those 2 statements are dropped. Senator David Wakoli, MP. Yes, Senator Fernandi, you may approach the chair. You need not use the microphone. Proceed, Senator Wakoli.
Honorable Speaker, request for statement on the status of the Equity Bank Kenya Limited Employee Share Ownership Plan, ESOP scheme. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Labor and Social Welfare regarding the status of the Equity Bank Kenya Limited Employee Share Ownership Plan, ESOP scheme. In the statement, the committee should, 1, provide a list of the trustees currently managing the Equity Bank Employee Share Ownership Plan scheme, explaining how they were appointed. 2, provide an annual breakdown of the number of employees who have joined as well as those who have opted out of the ESOP scheme from 2005 to date. 3, outline the terms and eligibility criteria for redemption of units held under the ESOP scheme. 4, state the number of employees who have so far applied to redeem units held under ESOP scheme, indicating the amount of cash or shares received by the respective employees so far. And 5, table financial and bank statement in respect of the ESOP scheme, indicating the total units held, accrued dividends and interest, as well as all the bank transactions from 2005 to date. Senator Wafula Wakoli, MP, Senator for the Great County of Bungoma. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Alan Chesang, your absence has been explained to the satisfaction of the chair. You may proceed to read your statements.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to request a statement from the Standing Committee on Information, Communication and Technology regarding the need for automation and digitization of services in the Office of the Controller of Budget. Mr. Speaker, the Standing Committee on Information, Communication and Technology resolved to conduct a county oversight and networking engagement in the counties of Uasin Gishu, Elgeyo Marakwet, Trans Nzoia, and Bungoma. As part of an ongoing inquiry into operations of the Integrated Financial Management Information System and other county revenue collection and management systems. The committee was particularly interested in presentations on each county's revenue collection and management systems, focusing on system overview, integration with IFMIS, effectiveness in revenue collection, key strengths and challenges, operational costs, sustainability, and any planned future improvements. Mr. Speaker, sir, as you are aware, the Senate has been in the front line championing for devolution, and to that effect, passed the report of the Mediation Committee on the Division of Revenue Bill, National Assembly Bill number 38 of 2024. On Thursday, 28th November 2024, to ensure financial stability and continued service delivery at the county level. However, during the county visit, the committee identified a critical bottleneck that threatens the success of devolution, namely the persisting challenge occasioned by the delays and inefficiencies in the budget approval processes at the Office of the Controller of Budget, despite the constitutional framework intended to streamline governance and financial management at the county level, as provided for in Article 228(4) and 5. In the statement, the committee should, number one, outline any strategies in the place to ensure automation and digitization of processes in the Office of the Controller of Budget to stem claims that reliance on manual systems not only hampers the fast processing of budget approvals, but also creates loopholes for corruption. Number two, investigate allegations that some officials within the Office of the Controller of Budget engage in gatekeeping practices, allegedly withholding approval of funds for counties unless illicit payments are made. And finally, Mr. Speaker, number three, to explain the reasons why county secretaries are required to manually deliver physical documents to the Office of Controller of Budget in Nairobi.
Order,
despite-
Senator Boni. Order.
Despite the presence of county representatives from the office, from the said office. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Let me proceed reading my next statement. I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Health regarding the management and operations of the Kenyatta University Teaching, Referral and Research Hospital. In the statement, the committee should, one, inquire into and report on the circumstances surrounding the alleged reinstatement of Mr. Ahmed Number one, outline the academic and other requirements for appointments to the position of CEO of the hospital and state qualification of Mr. Mohammed Dagane. Number 2, provide details of the hospital staff medical cover, including the entitlement for each cadre of staff, and explain the delay in payments that led to suspension of the staff medical cover by Jubilee Insurance. Number 3, shed light on allegation of unlawful and unfair labor practices, disruption of essential healthcare services, and financial irregularities at the hospital. And number 4, finally, Mr. Speaker, investigate reports of deterioration of health services at the hospital, disclosing any cases of unprofessional conduct by the hospital management. Mr. Speaker, on to my last statement. Mr. Speaker, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement for the Standing Committee of Finance and Budget regarding the pending bills owed by Trans Nzoia County government from financial year 2021-2022 to date. In the statement, the committee should, number 1, table a comprehensive report detailing the contractors and entities, including the names of the companies, their directors, contract details, and the services rendered by each company to the Trans Nzoia County government for the financial year 2021-2022 to date. Number 2, provide a detailed breakdown of all outstanding payments owed by contractors and other entities by the Trans Nzoia County government from the financial year 2021-2022 today. And finally, number 3, furnish the Senate with the budgetary allocation for pending bills from 2021-2022 to date, and provide a list of all requisitions for the payment of the pending bills, along the evidence and certificates for each payment. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Fatuma Dulo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Land, Environment and Natural Resources regarding the claims of grabbing community land in Isiolo County. In the statement, the committee should provide an audit of all community land in Isiolo County, indicating the parcels that have been registered, surveyed, or currently undergoing survey. State reasons for the delay in the registration of community land in Isiolo County. 3, provide an audit of all transfers carried out in respect of the community land in Isiolo County from 2016 to date, stating whether respective communities granted consent for the transfers. 4, provide data for parcel of community land that have minerals, indicating the current status of the proprietorship of each of these parcels. Finally, provide details of the reported instances where parcels of community land have been grabbed by individuals and private entities, outlining steps being taken to revert ownership and possession of the parcel of land to the community and to hold the persons involved to account. Mr. Speaker, if you can allow me, I can proceed with the rest.
Yes, proceed. You have
The second
3
one,
statements.
yes, sir.
Proceed.
I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek statement from the Standing Committee on Roads, Transportation and Housing on the status of roads in Isiolo County. The committee should state the total amount of money allocated by the county government of Isiolo for roads for each financial year since 2022 to the current date, and provide a detailed breakdown for each project. Provide detailed account of the road maintenance and works across the county, including current contracts awarded, payments made to various companies and their status. 3, provide a detailed breakdown of the total amount of pending bills for roads in Isiolo County. And finally, provide a list of roads that have undergone maintenance between 2022 to date. The final statement, Mr. Speaker, Uh, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek statement from the Standing Committee on Road Transportation and Housing on the delay in the completion of the Horn of Africa project in Isiolo County. In the statement, the committee should explain why the Horn of Africa project has not been completed since its commencement in 2017, provide a detailed account of the status of completion of the project, including but not limited to what has been done, what is pending, and any alterations made. 3, outline the progress that has been made to compensate residents whose land was taken for the project, and what steps are being taken to ensure that the completion of the project is expedited and that there are no further delays. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Kathuri, Senator for Meru County. Yes, you may proceed to read. You have two statements? Yes, you may proceed to read both.
Honorable Speaker, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Education regarding the mismanagement of the University of Nairobi. In the statement, the committee should, 1, investigate allegations that the University of Nairobi Council has taken over the role of the Council Chairman, has taken over the role of the Vice Chancellor in the daily running of university affairs, and is continuously engaged in unlawful practices, including misuse of university resources, irregular recruitment, and promotion of administrative staff, arbitrary transfer of staff and procedural placing of staff on compulsory leave, scrapping of lawful positions and creation of non-existent positions, and development of a human resource manual without involving the Public Service Commission, the University's Senate, Minister of Education, the University's Academic Staff Union, WASU, and other stakeholders. Number 2, explain the circumstances under which Mr. Mbura Nouma, the acting Chief Operations Officer at the university, was recruited and subsequently promoted with the fake academic papers. Number 3, explain why the same Mr. Uma's contract as acting CEO was renewed despite the finding by the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission that the employee and initially secured employment using fake academic papers, yet the position does not exist in the University of Nairobi Charter and the statutes, and the courts already declared it illegal. And number 4, provide reasons for the inordinate delay by the University Council to competitively recruit and substantively fill senior management positions in the university, including the positions of Vice Chancellor, Deputy Vice Chancellors, Head of Finance, Head of Procurement, Head of University Health Services, Head of Security and Safety, The second statement, Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Health regarding the delayed transition of staff of the National Health Insurance Fund, NHIF, to the Social Health, SHA. Mr. Speaker, sir, despite sanctioning provisions in the Social Health Insurance Act 2023 regarding the transition of NHIF staff to SHA, which is SHA, the Board of Social Health Authority has not yet advertised any positions for appointment or communicating the way forward to NHIF staff. I therefore request the committee to, 1, provide reasons for the delayed transition of NHIF staff to SHA, stating whether a staff establishment and the terms and conditions of service SHA will advertise the recruitment of persons to positions within the authority. Our training safeguards put in place to ensure the NHIF staff are given priority as required by the Social Health Insurance Act 2023. And number 3, provide the details of the framework for optional retirement and the deployment of NHIF staff within the public service, stating whether information on the framework has been availed to NHIF staff to enable them to make informed decisions. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Senator Fernandi.
October 2020, which directed the payment of salary arrears to the affected, stating the reasons for the continued non-compliance with the court's directive. Number 3, Mr. Speaker, provide justification for the unprocedural dismissal of senior research officers from KEMRI whose contracts were set to expire in 2025 and their replacement with casual workers. Number 4, Mr. Speaker, explain why many staff of Kenya Medical Research Institute who have worked under successive contracts for over 10 years without being absorbed into permanent positions, having had their contracts terminated without notice. And finally, Mr. Speaker, sir, provide a list of all staff members who was reinstated as per the court's order and explains the reasons for KEMRI's failure to comply with judicial directives, a failure that has persisted for several years. I thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Because my brother Cherargei has discussed the issue of KEMRI, Mr. Speaker, I would hope that the clerks to this House would most probably find benefit scheme. In the statement, Mr. Speaker, should one, explain the circumstances that led to the accumulation of approximately 2.5 billion shillings in unpaid pension dues owed to retired KEMRI employees under the defined benefit scheme, outlining remedial actions to be taken to address the situation. Mr. Speaker, number 2, I would like the committee to provide a timeline for the settlement of these unpaid pension dues. And finally, Mr. Speaker, I would want the committee to state measures put into place to ensure that the delay or a similar occurrence is not witnessed again in the near future. Mr. Speaker, my question number 2 is that I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53, 1, to seek a statement from the financial performance of the Nairobi Expressway, given that recently there has been conflicting information as to how the expressway has been doing. This is a key infrastructure project commissioned in 2022 under the PPP model. Mr. Speaker, the National Expressway is operated by the China Road and Bridge Corporation Company under a 27 concession agreement, which was envisioned Number 4, I would urge the committee to assess the broader economic impact to Ongata Rongai and other places within the outlying areas of Nairobi City. Mr. Speaker, I also rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Health regarding the state of Nairobi funeral. Nairobi had raised a question to this matter, and that's why I was saying I wish that some of the committee clerks would actually combine some of our questions instead of them being spread all over. But I would like the committee to state the number of unclaimed bodies currently being held at the Nairobi Funeral Home, explaining the recent surge in the admission of identified bodies, the circumstances of admission of these bodies, as well as the reported vis-a-vis the identified causes of death. Number 2, Mr. Speaker, I would want the committee to explain the delay in the legal process of allowing the disposal of 100 unclaimed bodies in the mortuary, indicating the status of the application made. I would want the committee to outline the steps taken by the county government of Nairobi to address the overcrowding at the Nairobi Funeral Home, which has been a permanent case. Number 4, Mr. Speaker, I would want the committee to state measures put in place by the Ministry of Health to address overcrowding in mortuaries across our country and across Kenya, and to make sure that these mortuaries are functioning and well managed. Number 5, Mr. Speaker, I would want the committee to explain how the government intends to address the underlying socioeconomic factors that contribute to the increasing number of the unclaimed bodies in the mortuary. Mr. Speaker, I rise again pursuant to Standing Order number 50, statement from the Standing Committee on Agriculture, Livestock and Fisheries regarding the status of implementation of the Edible Crops Promotion Project by the Agriculture and Food Authority, AFA. In the statement, Mr. Speaker, I would want the committee to provide details of the Crops Promotion Project by the AFA, including the project's justification, a breakdown of the 981 million budgetary requirement and allocation, as well as the counties participating in this project. Number 2, Mr. Speaker, I would want the committee to report on the status of the implementation of the project, stating how and when seeds were procured, and explain to Kenyans the decision by government to procure Zambia and not to procure the seeds locally, particularly from Trans Nzoia County. Number 3, Mr. Speaker, I want the committee to provide details on the distribution of the sunflower seeds across the country, society-owned, explaining the initiatives which the government has set up to boost the local capacity to process the anticipated increase in sunflower seed production and consumption. Finally, Mr. Speaker, I would want the committee to explain how the government plans to monitor and evaluate the implementation of this project, indicating on finance and budgets regarding the failure by the National Treasury to provide adequate supporting documentation for Kenya shillings 161 billion payments for external debt by the year 2020-21, 2021-2022, 2022-2023 financial years, as per the special audit report of the Auditor General on debt servicing for the 2021, 22, and 23 financial years. This report, Mr. Speaker, raises pertinent concerns over budgeted corruption, possibly plunder, and wastage of public resources, which poses a significant threat to our nation's economic integrity, development, and growth. Mr. Speaker, in that failed to provide adequate supporting documentation to the Auditor General for these payments to be made. Number two, I would want the committee to evaluate the prudence of government borrowing and sustainability of Kenya's public debt in light of the reported accountability gaps, as well as the government plans to borrow an additional 413 billion in the year 2024 and 2025 financial year. Mr. Speaker, number three, I would want the committee to provide a comprehensive account of Kenya's debt, how much money we've borrowed in the last 10 years, and if possible, have a distinction between the money borrowed locally and externally, indicating the projected repayment timelines, as well as the measures put in place to mitigate any risks of default. Number five, Mr. Speaker, I would want the committee to outline the legal and policy reforms being implemented to ensure transparency, accountability in borrowing and debt repayments to restore public trust and safeguard our country's fiscal sustainability and fiscal growth. Mr. Speaker, I would also rise in pursuant Standing Order number 53-1, seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Education regarding the termination of Professor Stephen Kiama Gitai from his position as Vice Chancellor of the University of Nairobi last year. In the statement, Mr. Speaker, I would want the committee to disclose the reason for the suspension and dismissal of Professor Kiama, including the justification from the premature termination of his permanent and pensionable terms of employment as a professor at my old university, University of Nairobi. Mr. Speaker, number two, I'd want the committee to table a comprehensive report of the investigations into his conduct, if any, including allegations of misconduct, if any, and insubordination, if any, and the disciplinary actions which were taken by the university or any other body. Number three, Mr. Speaker, I would want the committee to detail the status of the University of Nairobi's assets, particularly the properties and land, including any ongoing plans for their disposal and transfer of these properties to private individuals and developers. Number four, Mr. Speaker, I would want the committee to outline measures taken by the University Council to protect these assets I think I'm going to repeat myself. Thank you very much, sir, for giving me an opportunity to stretch your time. I appreciate it.
and residents of Laikipia County, which threatened to resort in eviction and displacement of local residents. Mr. Speaker, the situation has been particularly dire in the following areas: Kinamba area of Sosian Ward, Laikipia North, where the owners of Olmaiso and Sosian ranches have fenced off stock routes and traditionally belonging to the locals. Additionally, a burial site used by Kinamba residents since colonial times has been fenced, further exacerbating tensions. Mr. Speaker, in Muramati area of Umande Ward, Laikipia East, where ranchers, including Oldaiga and other investors, have land, blocking locals access to critical amenities such as water. Further, there are claims that the management of Olpajata Conservancy has approached the locals of Riasho in Ramuria Division, Laikipia Central, with a relocation proposal, ostensibly to create a wildlife corridor. In the statement, the committee should, 1, clarify the terms of lease agreement for the ranches operating in the affected areas. 2, outline any measures in place to protect the residents of Riasho, Ramuria from being disenfranchised from ownership of their lands. 3, provide details on the authority under which these ranches and conservancies are acting, including whether their actions align with legal and procedural requirements. 4, explain what civic education efforts have been undertaken to inform and involve residents before taking action that could lead to eviction, displacement of residents. And 5, provide a status report on the progress made in issuing title deeds to Kinamba residents to enable them to secure their land ownership rights. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Alexander Mundiki.
Request for statement on the enduring of the Makutano Mwea Embu Chuka Meru Road. Mr. Speaker, I rise person to standing order housing regarding the enduring of the Makutano Mwea Embu Chuka Meru Road, classified as a class B6, covering a distance of 169 kilometers. Mr. This road, which traverses the counties of Kirinyaga, Embu, Tharaka Nithi, and Meru, serves as a critical transport corridor for the movement of goods and services between Meru and Nairobi. Entering this road capacity through the high economic potential of these counties. In the statement, (2023) to date as a basis for assessing the need for its conversion to an orange way. 2, present data on traffic accident reported during this road from the year 2023 to date, including the number of fatalities and injuries. 3, state to upgrade the road into a dual carriage way and inform on the status of these plans and indicate the timeline for the commencement of the enduring. Dr. Alexander Munyimondigi, Senator for Embu County.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to request for a statement on the maintenance of the Mkunombe Kibaon Road by the County Government of Lamu. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Roads, Transport and Housing regarding the basis of the maintenance of the Mkunombe Kibaon Road by the County Government of Lamu. In the statement, the committee should, 1, provide the breakdown of the Kenya shillings 7,920,886 spent by the County Government of Lamu in the routine maintenance of the road in the 2023-2024 financial year, indicating the specific activities carried out and their respective costs. Number 2, explain the legal basis of the routine maintenance of the Mkunumbi Kibaoni Road by the County Government of Lamu despite the road being a section of the Gariseni-Lamu Road, which is a national trunk road that should be maintained by the Kenya National Highways Authority, KENHA. Number 3, clarify whether the county government and the KENHA signed a memorandum of understanding into bracket MOU or undertook consultation prior to the commencement of maintenance work on the road by the county government, and if so, provide the details of the same. And number 4, state whether the county government conducts audits or reviews of the maintenance work carried out on the road to evaluate adherence to established standards. Mr. Speaker, I have another statement that I rise to request on the maintenance of the Hindi Kibaoni Road. Mr. Speaker, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Roads, Transport and Housing regarding the routine maintenance of the Hindi Kibaoni Road in Lamu County. In the statement, the committee should provide a detailed breakdown on the Kenya shillings 9,424,292.40 allocated for the Hindi Kibaoni Road projects in the financial year 2023-2024 financial year, including breakdown of activities undertaken such as bush clearing along both sides of the road, grading services and associate costs. Number 2, a very supportive documentation, including contracts, invoices, and progress report to verify how funds were utilized on the Hindi Kibaoni Road. Number 3, provide details of the tendering process for the road project, including the name of the awarded contracts and the terms of contracts. Number 4, explain the need assessment criteria used by the county government of Lamu to inform the opening of the rehabilitation of the Hindi Kibaoni Road, clarifying whether any feasibility studies or cost benefits analysis were conducted before authorizing the expenditure, especially considering the road's dilapidated state. Number 5, state measures taken by the county government to ensure that expenditures on the road projects like the Hindi Kibaoni Road deliver value for money, noting the road's dilapidated state and the potential needs for the extensive rehabilitation. And number 6, state whether the county government of Lamu conducted any audit or review of the project to assess its cost efficiency and effectiveness. If so, avail the results for the public scrutiny. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Senator James Murango. Senator Eddie.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This is a request of statement on status of the construction of Migori County headquarters and other related public works. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order number 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Roads, Transport and Housing regarding the status of the construction of Migori County headquarters and other related public works. In the statement, Mr. Speaker, the committee should provide the implementation status of the Migori County headquarters project, including adherence to approved construction requirements, costs, and timelines. Also, Mr. Speaker, in the statement, the committee should outline the total budgetary allocations for the project by financial years, detailing the amounts utilized since its commencement. Additionally, Mr. Speaker, in the statement, the committee should disclose how budgetary allocations for the projects were included in the county budget estimates and supplementary budgets, providing evidence of necessary approvals for these allocations. Additionally, Mr. Speaker, in the statement, the committee should identify the county department or agency responsible for implementing and supervising the construction works for the headquarters. And Mr. Speaker, Also in the statement, the committee should furnish a list of contracted entities involved in the project detailing their terms of reference, works completed, and agreed key performance indicators, KPIs. Additionally, provide information on actions taken in response to contractor non-compliance, if any. Additionally, Mr. Speaker, the committee should further submit monitoring and evaluation reports conducted by the relevant county department or agency, including the status of any recommendations made in these reports. And finally, Mr. Speaker, the committee should, in the statement, provide a roadmap for the completion and handover of the headquarters, specifying the expected timeline and outlining anticipated efficiency gains and potential budgetary savings upon its completion. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, I further rise with a request for a statement on the budget allocation and utilization for the financial year 2023-2024 in Migori County. Mr. Speaker, sir, this I rise pursuant to Standing Order number 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Finance and Budget concerning the budget allocation and utilization for the financial year 2023-2024 in Migori County and the measures in place to ensure effective and lawful budgeting to promote service delivery. Implementation report for financial year 2023-2024 raised concerns about budgeting practices in Migori County, including suboptimal implementation outcomes. And Mr. Speaker, there is a critical need for transparency regarding several budgetary issues highlighted in the report, as well as for the introduction of measures to ensure sound budgeting practices. Mr. Speaker, this should include compliance with the Public Finance Management Act, CAP 412A, and other relevant legislation, particularly the fiscal responsibility principles to promote transparency in the use of county resources and prioritize funding for effective service delivery. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, in the statement, the committee should, number one, indicate whether the county executive confirm whether it utilizes both itemized budgeting and program-based budget framework for budgeting, and whether the county expenditure is done through the IFMIS system in compliance with the Public Finance Management Act 2012 and its regulations thereafter. Mr. Speaker, further in the statement, the committee should a detailed breakdown of itemized budgetary allocations for the Department of Finance and Economic Planning and for the Department of Public Service Management, Monitoring and Evaluation, and clearly indicate utilization and absorption rates, as well as any in-year budget revisions, so insofar known as supplementary budgets approved by the County Assembly, especially for the financial year 2023-2024. Further, Mr. Speaker, in the statement, the committee should submit detailed justifications for the additional recurrent budget allocations for Kenya shillings 117.499 million, Department of Finance and Economic Planning, and Kenya shillings 72.506 million to the Department of Public Service Management, Monitoring and Evaluation, as reported in the Control of Budgets financial year 2023-2024 report. Additionally, Mr. Speaker, this must bring their total allocations to 9 respectively. That is for the two departments. Further, Mr. Speaker, the committee should provide detailed information on the outputs achieved or realized through the budget allocations to these two departments, particularly in light of the Control of Budgets report indicating over 99.9% exchequer and excuse me, and absorption utilization for the financial year
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. It's quite curious the number of statements that have been brought by my colleagues, and yet it is a of sitting. Honorable Speaker, I just wanted to raise a concern. If you look at the majority of the statements that have been raised, they have been directed at the Committee on Roads and Transport. I have counted no less than 7 such statements, Honorable Speaker. At our last meeting, we had almost 30 or 50 statements that are still pending. There's a conversation we had with the majority leader, at least during the SPC, on what needs to happen when we resume. It would be quite unfair, Honorable Speaker, for...
Order, Senator Keroche. Order. Proceed, Senator Plenary.
It would be quite unfair because I know there is discussion about reconstituting the committees, and I personally have indicated that I would want to leave some of those committees. But I feel it is very unfair for the people or the members who will be joining those committees to be inundated with all these statements. I don't know how it is possible, Honorable Speaker. We wanted to request your office, at least for the Roads Committee in the...
Honorable Senator for Nakuru. I'll give you the first caution of the day. You proceed, I will rule you out of order. Proceed, Senator.
Yes, Honorable Speaker, I was saying that we need to deal with 2 issues. Number one, I am happy that on the order paper today we have the CARA. We need to dispense with this so that we can release money to counties. Every time we raise questions about our roads in our counties, the governors are saying, oh, we have not received money. Then the second issue is on the dispute of the RMLF. Honorable Speaker, if there is anything we as a house can do to help unlock that stalemate that is existing between the National Assembly and the Council of Governors, I think we should avail ourselves to help to resolve that issue, because the problems of roads here in Nairobi and across the counties, you can see all my colleagues from Isiolo to Lamu, it is now a national, an issue of national concern, and all leaders should now take up this matter to ensure that at least we resolve the problem of the roads in this country. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Senator Faki.
Asante Mheshimiwa Spika kwa kunipa fursa hii kuchangia statement ambayo imeletwa bungeni na seneta maalum Seneta Hamida. Mheshimiwa Spika, kuhusiana na siku 16 za kupambana na gender based violence, yani vita dhidi ya gender ambayo yes, ambavyo ni siku 16 ambazo zinaadhimishwa kuanzia tarehe 25 mwezi uliopita mpaka tarehe 10 mwezi Disemba. Mheshimiwa Spika, kwa kusema kweli, mwaka huu katika nchi yetu ya Kenya tumeona visa vimeongezeka vya ukatili dhidi ya wasichana, kina mama na watoto wadogo wa kike. Mheshimiwa Spika, polisi walipotoa tarakimu zao mwezi uliokwisha, ilikuwa karibu wanawake 100 walikuwa tokea katika kifo ama kudhurika. Mheshimiwa Spika, tupambane na janga hili. Mheshimiwa Spika, statement ya pili ambayo niko nataka kuichangia ni taarifa ambayo imeombwa na naibu wa spika Senator wa Gatuzi la Meru kuhusiana na mambo yalivyo katika University of Nairobi, ambao ni chuo ambacho mimi Mheshimiwa Spika pia niliwahi kupitia katika chuo hicho. Mheshimiwa Spika, ni jambo la kusikitisha kwamba vyuo vyetu sasa vinakuwa ni mahala ambapo uongozi haufanyiki ama uongozi umekuwa duni kiasi ambacho Mheshimiwa Spika, migogoro na mizozano haiishi. Mheshimiwa Spika, ikumbukwe Jumatatu iliyopita, Jumatatu ya wiki hii, kulikuwa na maandamano ya wafanyikazi katika Kenyatta University Hospital ambapo ikasababisha kujiuzulu kutoka mamlakani kwa mwenyekiti wa kamati ama mwenyekiti ya jopo la hospitali ile Profesa Mogenda akabidi ajiuzulu, na vile vile pia mkurugenzi ambaye msimamizi Dr. Ada pia akabidi ende nyumbani, Mheshimiwa Spika, kutokana na hali ambayo ilikuwa hairidhishi katika chuo kile. Mheshimiwa Spika, ile Kenyatta University Hospital, Mheshimiwa Spika, ni hospitali ambayo ni level 6. Yaani katika Kenya hospitali kama hizi ziko 3 peke yake, na haipendezi Mheshimiwa Spika kwamba taasisi kama ile ikumbwe na mgogoro wa uongozi, wakati hapa Kenya tuna viongozi wa kila aina tunaweza kuleta maprofesa wa kila aina, Mheshimiwa Spika. Kwa hiyo Mheshimiwa Spika, ni kuwa taasisi zetu zinaingia katika mikono ya uongozi ambao sio wasawa, Mheshimiwa Spika. Ndio sababu ya hii kwetu na hamuna mtu mwenye tajiriba ya kuongoza taasisi kama ile, hiyo itakuwa tunawaharibia Wakenya, pia vijana ambao wengi wanatamaa kwamba wakitoka katika university zile wataweza kutimiza ndoto zao za kufanya kazi.
To make a
Proceed.
Thank you for protecting me, Mr. Speaker. I thought what I said is a statement of fact about where that university is located. Mr. Speaker, there is yesterday the president said there's a bad spirit in the country of opposing everything. I think there is another bad spirit, Mr. Speaker, of everybody trying to do everybody's job but their own. Mr. Speaker, this statement alleges that the university's council chairperson has left his responsibilities as a chairperson of the council and is now busy executing the executive role that is a preserve of the vice chancellor. I do hope that the education committee can quickly find out what the facts are in the case, because I have had this conversation, Mr. Speaker, from very reliable sources, including people that I hold. And so on and so forth, Mr. Speaker. And sometimes I wonder what I'm supposed to do. Kenya is a multi-party democracy. I campaigned alongside the president. Speaker that has been brought before this house, and it agrees with the manifesto upon our party. To be an expert on education policy, you want to comment on the legislature, but you want to say absolutely such as this particular time. And there have been occasions, Mr. Speaker, where when the report of this house was tabled, this Senator Mungatana has come under a lot of criticism. And I remember him being dressed down at a particular function, I think somewhere in Kiambu, and being told, concentrate on your work as a legislator. Don't tell us how to manage church affairs. And I thought, okay, that's a fair request, because Senator Mungatana is least qualified to address the church on how to run their affairs. But doesn't the same experts on every how to take a better job than President William Ruto. He wants to mount a presidential campaign. Feel like you can offer better solutions. It's a social media account, Mr. Speaker. But they are so loud. And so congratulations, Senator Umtata. I look forward to listening to your manifesto and your ideas so that you tell us how you can move the country forward at the right time when the opportunity presents itself and Kenyans agree with you. We will grant you the opportunity and we'll say, do well, do better than those that were before you. But we cannot redefine democracy, Mr. Speaker, where at every twist and turn, you want to reinvent democracy and ensure that at every that is being made, Speaker, something, you have to say something about it and say, no, I don't agree with this, I don't agree. That is not democracy. Democracy, Mr. Facts, so that we can establish what is ailing this institution before it is too late, Mr. Speaker.
Now, that brings us to the end of the comment session. I will call upon the Chair, Finance and Budget, to lay the paper. Okay, you may now proceed to give notice.
Mr. Speaker, I beg to give notice of the following motion that the Senate adopts the report of the Standing Committee Chair, cash disbursement schedule for financial year 24-25, laid on the table of December 2024, and that pursuant to Section 17(7) of the PFM Act and Standing Order 189.3, the Senate approves the county government's equity share cash disbursements schedule upon enactment of
We will proceed to prosecute order number 14. Thereafter, we will resume the normal flow as contained in the order paper, and that particular order will be hybrid going forward until we conclude that order. Clerk, you may proceed to call order number 14.
Order number 14, Committee of the Whole. The Consideration of Revenue Bill number 25 of 2024. Consideration of His Excellency the President's recommendations.
Let's bring people in. That's what we're doing. Yeah, but we have so many divisions. You see, we have many divisions, but what I want us to do
of 2024. The clauses were canvassed in the morning, and we are now moving to division. Sergeant at Arms, please ring the division bell for 10 minutes. Sergeant at arms, please ring the bell for another 5 minutes.
Watu wa Mungu, Bwana Yesu asifiwe. Kipindi cha mahubiri kimerudi tena kwa kishindo kwenye Sound Candy Talk. Tunakufundisha, kukuelimisha na kukutia moyo kwenye Daily Bite. Mafundisho kamili ya Biblia kila siku kwenye runinga uipendayo ya Sound Candy Talk.
Merry Christmas.
Tazama Sound Candy Talk upate ufahamu.
Merry Christmas.